Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian McCollum, and right off the bat, today's video has nothing to do with cool guns. If you're here looking for a cool gun, well, I'm not sure how you got that from the thumbnail and title on this video, but that's the subject of this video. It's titles and thumbnails and how video production works on YouTube, and just some interesting observations about it from a very recent experiment that I did. If you're looking for cool gun videos, well, come on back tomorrow when I have an extremely cool gun video posting on the 1921 Terni Italian select fire prototype funky rifle. Anyway, I get a fair amount of spam as a person with a large YouTube channel, and this is often in the form of people pitching various ways to improve channel views. Things like, we'll dub all your videos in other languages, or we'll make your thumbnails a lot better. Now, the one that I just got 2 days ago at this point was one of the thumbnail types. I had just actually recently posted a video on the Soviet PBS-1 suppressor. That, by the way, is one of the dead air reproductions. Much more effective than the original Soviet ones, totally different internally. It's cool, but I knew people were going to be interested in seeing what the original Soviet one looked like, especially because it has some weird features to it. So, did the video, normal standard sort of video like all the other ones that I do, and I gave it the exact same sort of standard thumbnail that I give all of my videos. I'm sure you're quite familiar with it at this point. Diagonal bar across the middle, it's got Forgotten Weapons in one corner, it's got the flag of the country of origin of the gun, or in this case the suppressor, the name of the thing, and then the one other side of the whole thumbnail is a picture of whatever the gun or suppressor happens to be. And well, I got an email from a marketing guy who gave a fairly typical pitch of like, your thumbnails suck. I could make you much better thumbnails, and then you'd get a lot more views. What this guy did a little differently than most is he actually did create a thumbnail for that, my most recent video, sent it along with his pitch email, and basically said, this is yours for free, just take it, use it, try it. You know, classic drug dealer thing, like, first one's free and I bet you'll like it. Pitch being that the thumbnail he has created would be a lot more, would grab a lot more clicks, a lot more views than my thumbnail. And because it was right there, and because frankly the thumbnail for the PBS one isn't particularly interesting looking really, I figured, what the heck, we'll give it a try. Because YouTube has relatively recently introduced the ability to do A/B testing on both titles and thumbnails for videos. So I was able to upload this new thumbnail and set it up as an A/B test so that some of the audience gets shown one and some gets shown the other. YouTube collects data for a period of time over which one, not just, this is important, not just which one gets more clicks, but actually which thumbnail drives more watch time, because that's the metric that YouTube is interested in. They don't want to encourage super clickbait thumbnails that'll do whatever just to get people to click, and then people click on the video starts, and people realize, oh, this isn't actually what I wanted, or this isn't interesting, and they immediately leave. YouTube's goal is to get people to continue watching the videos as long as possible. So they are basing their A/B testing on watch time. Now, my impressions of this thumbnail were, it's definitely more visually interesting than the standard thumbnail that I had created. And I bet it will draw more views. I wasn't sure if it would draw more watch time or not. And I was really skeptical about using it because I didn't think people were going to like it. And ran this experiment, and lo and behold, I was correct on both counts. So here's the actual results of the experiment. And this thing, like a lot of, I do some other A/B testing. There are times when, you know, like if I've got a Mauser rifle, I'll do a thumbnail of the whole Mauser, which is kind of boring because they all look the same and you can't see any details. And then I'll also do a thumbnail of like just the receiver crest. And those are also kind of not great because when they're small, you really can't make out anything. And so there's kind of a, I don't know, there's no really good option that I've come up with for those. So I'll try both, and usually it'll spend 12 to 24 hours collecting data, and the results will come back like, you know, 48%, 52%, or 49, 51, and there's really not much difference between the two. Well, in this case, that A/B test only ran for a couple hours before it had what it considered definitive data, and there you go. It's like 30% increase in views for this new thumbnail. which also coincide with a deluge of comments from people who hate that thumbnail, rightfully calling it all manner of AI slop. I get it. I think there are huge risks with AI generated content, and we're only starting to see the tip of the iceberg on this. Thumbnails are easy. The content out there that is AI scripted and AI written is still right now relatively easy to spot, but that's definitely going to change in the coming year or so, I'm sure. And I was curious about this. How is this? How are people going to react to, in this case, a visually appealing but kind of obviously AI generated thumbnail versus a visually kind of boring and maybe therefore obviously human created thumbnail? And it's a really interesting paradox that all of the actual human response is we hate this, and yet if you look at what people do and not just what they say, people obviously like it because it did lead to a substantial uptick, not just in clicks again, but in actual watch time. More people clicked on the video and then watched through more of that video than they did with my original thumbnail. So it really presents an interesting paradox. For those of you who are also doing content creation, this is something that you and I are all going to have to take into consideration. Now, I am fortunate here that I have a remarkably large audience of people who enjoy what I do and are used to my standard, boring, poorly, low production quality thumbnails, and are fine with them. Like, they know that that's going to lead them to a Forgotten Weapons video that they like. And so I don't necessarily have the same drive, like I don't have the same necessity to grab a bunch of brand new viewers with every video because I have to build an audience. Someone starting a new channel is going to have a much more difficult time trying to draw this balance between we want to create titles and thumbnails that attract people's interest and get them to watch the video, but at the same time we want to maintain like a human element, assuming this is content that is actually human made, which I'm just naive here and assuming that new content creators are going to actually produce real content instead of just having AI bots script slop for them. But anyway, aside from that, it's an interesting predicament. So I have no plans to use this as a long-term standard. I don't plan to write back to this particular ad guy who approached me, who created the thumbnail, because I'm not willing to sacrifice the look of Forgotten Weapons as an entirely human-centric, human-created channel in exchange for the very real additional views and revenue that AI-generated, high production quality thumbnails would result in. And I guess I should say, a thumbnail doesn't have to be AI generated to be good and to be attractive and to grab people's attention, but that's certainly the way that everything is going to be going, because it is so much easier and faster and cheaper to create that AI thumbnail than to actually have a human team or person take the time to develop and create that art. So we're going to be seeing a lot of it. Boy, yeah, it's an interesting one. Anyway, I thought this was really interesting, and partially I wanted to explain what I'd been doing because there were a whole bunch of people who are clearly not happy with that sort of thumbnail. So, there it is. There's the background behind it. Let me know what you think. Like, AI is a whole new world that's going to be coming, and I am very happy that I think Forgotten Weapons is a channel that will be able to stand above it simply by virtue of, ideally, covering material that just isn't out there, that hasn't been documented, that AI can't talk about, and stuff that you guys find interesting. Anyway, thanks for watching me ramble on this one. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow with a 1921 Tierney, which you won't find any ChatGPT content on because I think I'm the first person to put it on video. So enjoy. We'll see you tomorrow.